Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed is a spiritual crossing of the threshold to the world of being a truly expanded human being. Join mediums Cheryl and Kelley for conversations about discovering deep spirituality, developing your intuitive and empathic skills, and personal mediumship. Each episode will focus on tips, tools, and techniques to help you understand and expand your own inner gifts of life journey. Now, your host of Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed, Kelley and Cheryl.
Well, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Seeing Beyond Living Transformed, a live internet radio with WLTK-DB. We're happy to be here today. It's a really special day, always, when we have our beautiful special guest, Lauri Albert. We'll introduce her in just a moment, but first, let me say hello to my colleague, Kelley Eckhart. Hi, Kelley. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Cheryl. Just a little under the weather, but I'm here.
Oh, it's good to see you. You look beautiful as always, Kelley.
Yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and get underway here because we have a lot to talk about. Today's a great show. We have Lauri Albert with us today. She is a spiritual luminary. She is also author of a book, Manifestation Journal for Beginners. Lauri has lots to share with us and tell us about her upcoming events, but we want to say good afternoon, Lauri, and thank you for being with us today.
Yay, thanks for having me. Oh my gosh, it's always so much fun to be on with you guys because the conversation just is so easy.
Yes.
And so much fun. And we will, we just laugh and we have fun. And that's what this work should be about, right?
Right.
All of the spirit work that we do doesn't have to be so dramatic, right?
No.
We were talking before the show about how long we've all been going live and doing these live events. And we were very lucky that we have been doing them for so long. So that way, when everyone moved over to Zoom and live Facebook and live shows more, that we were already professionals at it, experts in our field. So we're happy to have you here, Lauri. And we love everything that you do, Lauri. I have been following you. You used to do morning meditations at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And I would sit with you on your live. You would do like a 20-minute meditation, I think, for us. So you're really tuned in professionally as a meditation teacher. I want to comment on that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's funny because spirit takes you in different directions, and when COVID hit, I was like, well, I can't go out and I get up and meditate first thing in the morning. So I might as well just go live, so I thought, okay. So it was easy. And it was like, spirit works this stuff out for us, takes a bad situation like COVID and turns it around. And all of a sudden there's all these new opportunities. So
it's all about our perspective.
Yeah.
Right. And how we
so
view
true.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. So true. I mean, we could think of COVID, and it's not the greatest thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it was great, but when we
out of it,
take these things that happen in our lives, whether they're good or bad, find the one thing out of it that's positive, it's great, so.
Yeah, that's how my thinking works too. I love that. Can I just comment? I really love your hat.
Oh,
it is so awesome. I love it.
You know what? I've been wearing hats lately. I don't know why, but all of a sudden it's so thank you.
Well, Lauri, I know you wrote a book called Manifestation, Journal for Beginners, and I know you have a copy with you on your screen. And just to tell everyone, I have a copy too, and I've read it and I've used the workbook because there is a part of the book where you are able to write and journal. And I love everything that you teach about learning how to manifest. So can you share with us about, what brought you to write the book and, what lessons can you teach us about manifesting in the book?
Well, honestly, and I know we've probably talked about some of this stuff before, but it bears repeating. I manifested writing a book on manifestation. And I always, whenever I say that out loud, it makes me giggle because
it's like a tongue twister.
it just it just shows that we can manifest anything, I remember thinking years ago, I wanted to, I want to write a book, but I'm not sure what about, blah, blah, blah. And I never thought about manifesting it. I just wanted to write it and whatever. And a few years ago, I was trying to get things together and, making my plans and writing out my own journal, my own manifestation journal. What is it that I want to do and all that stuff. And I wrote in there a book, and sure enough, like within whatever period of time, it wasn't that long a period of time, I happened to just out of the blue get an email from a publishing company saying, you talk about manifestation all the time on your podcast, so let's talk about writing a book. I mean, how amazing is that? And it just blows my mind how the universe works, and what I wanted to accomplish with this book is I wanted it to be real. I wanted to talk about manifestation in real terms. I go on Instagram all the time, and I'll forever be seeing stuff like, hey, if you click on this, if you like this post, you're going to have $2 million in your bank account by 3 p.m. today. And I'm thinking, oh, do people really believe that? I mean, it's not possible. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I mean, maybe in a crazy construct, it might be possible, but for me and for most of the people, 99.999% of the population, it's just not possible. There's work that needs to be done, it's fun work, but there's work that needs to be done, so I wanted to get real about it. And that's kind of my whole impetus for writing the book like that. So
to remind everyone, we're in season 2 this episode, but we had you on season 1. So if people haven't met you yet from our season 1 show, please reach out to Lauri Albert. You can find her on her website, laurialbert.com. That's LauriAlbert, laurialbert.com. Sign up for her newsletter. Lauri is always trying to keep busy. Not only did you manifest a book called Manifesting, but you have become a meditation teacher, and you have studied with someone very special. If you can share with us a little bit about your meditation journey as an instructor now.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So I had been following David G., who is a meditation teacher, and he is like, he does everything. He goes everywhere, but one of the things he does is he goes to like police departments, and he goes into corporations and that sort of thing and teaches them how to meditate. Can you imagine if all the police forces in the country learned the amazing benefits of meditation, right? So and he worked with Deepak Chopra, he had the Chopra Center, and he's been doing all this stuff for many, many years, right? So weirdly, I feel like I'm supposed to say this. My mother passed away in 2018, and I got this, modest inheritance, right? And that allowed, because it's not cheap to get trained by David G., right? So that money allowed me the opportunity to get certified with David G. And again, I know I keep saying this, but there are no like accidents, and things happen. Like spirit, if we're willing to follow and trust our gut, spirit will take us to amazing places in our lives, right? So anyway, I got to work with him for, it's about like a 3-month program. And I got to, meet him, and we had a week down at he calls it the Nest. And so I got to become certified with him. And because of that has taken my own personal spirituality to kind of a new level. And interestingly, after that is when I got contacted about the book. So it's just interesting how life flows if you let it flow, kind of thing. So,
And you follow that instinct, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. You have to not even just follow it, but trust it.
Yes.
I'm
always saying, well, I don't know why, but I'm just going to do it because it feels right,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you may not even realize why you're doing something, but if you trust your gut, it's so funny because in talking about, because I do workshops on manifestation, I do all different types of workshops, but the workshop I just did on manifestation, I was talking about how whenever we use the term gut instinct, our gut instinct is really our intuition. It's just an easy way for the general public to understand it's your gut instinct.
Yeah, because you feel it there. A lot of people
Yeah,
feel it there in
exactly.
the gut.
Now we know, right, Kelly and Cheryl, we know that it's our intuition,
Right.
but whenever you're like somebody who's not into this, you can say gut check or, trust your gut, that's more palatable.
Well, even the police department uses that, right?
Yes.
And you talked about, teaching them how to meditate. I think would be really beneficial to teach all children in school starting at preschool age. My son learned how when he was in preschool at 3.
Yeah.
He came home and he was saying Om and all these other things. I was like, what? I was not a meditator at the time. And I was like, what are you teaching my child here?
Yeah, right. Well, and that's the thing that we have to be careful with.
Yeah.
Some people have a thing and that's okay. Everybody's allowed to think what they want. So that's kind of
Well, he loved it. It calmed the kids down. It taught them ways to really kind of like calm themselves down, because toddlers are not, preschool age kids. They can get upset easily, but it gave them coping skills that aren't typically taught in schools.
Yeah.
And
imagine
at home.
Yeah, and imagine how they're going to be later on in life, having been taught that skill of meditation.
Right?
It's amazing.
We should be teaching it. It's an important skill, I think, for our survival and our
society. It is.
And our mental illness,
Finding that space between the thoughts, I don't know if you guys realize this, but we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts every single day.
Double that for me.
That's a lot.
My brain never stops, Lauri. It took me, when I learned to meditate, it took me a good year of really focusing to learn to quiet that mind of mine, because my mind is so noisy. And it always has been. And my son was the same way. So meditation has really kind of helped me sleep. It's helped me get my thoughts clear,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been great. And I hear people tell me, oh, I can't calm my mind down. I'm like, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Well, and that's the thing. It's really just about teaching yourself, because it's not necessarily like even the master meditators still have thoughts when they're meditating. It doesn't have to be this sitting like this and with your hand mudras, and it doesn't have to be any of that. It's really just sitting by yourself. Eating your own quietness, in the stillness. We call it stillness and silence. I don't necessarily do silence all the time, but I do stillness, and even if you just start out, you don't have to, David G always teaches there's going to be one of 3 things that happens whenever you meditate. Okay. Number 1, you might fall asleep. Okay. Number 2, you might have every single thought known to man. Like, I have to go to the grocery store. I have to, what are we having for dinner? All of those thoughts. And then the third thing is you quiet your mind. Okay. So and all of 3 are okay. We have to understand that.
Not be hard on ourselves and know that it's a practice.
Yes.
And, it's not always going to be the same every day. It's going to be where we get 5 minutes of quality meditation, and some days maybe 1 minute or 10 minutes. So go with that. Go with the flow.
Take them when you can get them. What do you think about exercise type meditations? Like me, when I ride my bike, I'm in the zone.
Oh.
And I get so much, it's such a beautiful feeling. I feel so connected to spirit. I feel like I'm in the zone. I don't even realize when I've ridden 30 miles.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do the bike riding right now because my knee's messed up and I'm out of shape. But like
Yeah.
a few years back, even in 2020 in COVID, I was bike riding 20 miles every day with my son, and he got in the zone. I mean, it's like I felt so amazing, like after meditation.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's what works for you.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why I tell
I
people
mean,
it doesn't have to be sitting still.
no, well,
Be
I mean,
walking in
that's a
nature.
form of meditation. You know, there are different forms of meditation. Now, I will say that David G says, okay, this is his way of teaching. And I actually sort of subscribe to this, right?
Yeah.
Sitting for 10 minutes in the stillness every day, that should be like your main form of meditation. However, there's many other types. You know, you can meditate to music, you can do a guided meditation, you can do work exercise meditation, you can do walking meditations. But if you have your main meditation of the day be like sitting in the stillness for like 10 minutes or whatever, you know, that's kind of how he teaches. And I actually sort of
like that too.
Yeah, you know, because then it gives you the chance to do all of it, you know, kind of thing. So
I can say though, after a bike ride, and I like to go somewhere where there's like no people, I can just sit on the beach, watch the waves, and do my meditation after that bike ride, and there's no thoughts in my head. It's like so perfect.
I want to do that.
No,
that sounds amazing. Oh my gosh.
I used to do it all the time. I do miss the beach. I like Sacramento, but I do miss being at the beach because I don't get to just hop on my bike.
Yeah.
You know, I actually miss bike riding right now. I have to have knee surgery, but when that knee's done, I'll go bike riding again.
Good for you.
I'd like to just take a moment and say hi to our listeners for today.
Yes. Thank you, Cheryl.
No, I just wanted to say hi to John. I saw Sue on here earlier. Christina's logged on. Hi, Maria's with us. Frank. We love Frank. Once again, KB's with us, who I think that's Kit, if I'm right there. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Bernadette, Cheller, once again, Christine. We want to welcome everyone to our show today, Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We are with Miss Lauri Albert. She is the author of Manifestation Journal for Beginners. And Lauri Albert is a spiritual luminary, she calls herself. So we were talking about manifesting and meditation. So Lauri, we were asking you earlier, and you were going to share some tips with us. Can you start telling us what you can share with us? What's on your list for today?
Awesome. I just took a video, by the way, of doing this because it's so exciting.
A video of this?
So thank you for that. So I was kind of thinking, you know, so many people come to me and talk to me about, okay, how do I manifest stuff? What do I do? How do I, you know, what is it like really? Like it's so big and dramatic. And you know what? I really wanted today to think about it in terms of fun, right? There are like, so I could get into the law of attraction and the thing, all of that stuff, which has its place and it's great. It's good to know sort of the mechanics of it. But I was thinking today we talk about some of the ways to literally just like the tools that we can use to start the manifestation process. Okay. So the first thing, and I know, Cheryl, I know you a little bit better than Kelley. So I think that, you know, you probably use these too, but affirmations. If you're familiar with affirmations, Cheryl, do you use affirmations?
I love affirmations. I carry an affirmation with me in my billfold, or I have them on my computer. You know, I love them. They make me feel good.
Me too. Me too.
Do they? Good.
And that's what that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you feel good, you know? And to start using them is like so simple, you know? I have one that sticks. It's like I've had it for, 25 years. For some reason, the word, and I may have said this to you guys before, but for some reason, the word courageous, not courage, but the word courageous just, it's like an arrow in my heart, not in a bad way, but in a good way. But it's like, it like gets me, you know? So whenever I am having one of those moments or whatever, I'll think to myself, I am courageous. I say that to myself, right?
Love it.
You have to find your thing, and you can start with all is well, all is well. That's fantastic, right? If you like go through life and you're having all of these problems and all of this stuff, if you just start saying to yourself, all is well, I mean, it's just fantastic. So in my journal that I wrote, at the top, I have little affirmations, a different one for every day, and you can take that on for yourself, or you can make up your own, Now, the other thing that's cool about affirmations is mirror work. You can stick those little, like put a little sticky note on the mirror, or you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are courageous, or I am courageous. And you're looking at yourself in the mirror, right? And that is that just, have you ever done mirror work? Either of you guys?
I haven't done I Am Courageous, but I'm doing that one today.
Yeah. So Lauri, back in 2011, I went through a little bit of a depression, which I've never been depressed in my life. So it was kind of shocking. And they were going to put me on antidepressants, which I didn't want to do because I had 3 kids. So I went and printed out every affirmation that resonated with me on 8.5 by 11 sheets. And I pinned them all around the house.
Yeah.
At eye level, on all the doors, front and back, all the mirrors, everywhere. And my kids thought I'd lost my mind. My husband thought it was funny. And anytime I had a negative thought or anytime I felt down, I would just start walking around the house and reading them out loud.
Yeah.
And it got me through my depression.
Because sometimes you have to remind yourself, Yeah, it's exactly.
Rewire the brain.
Yeah, exactly. Rewiring the brain. Exactly. Because what we need to change in order to manifest our lives in whatever shape or form you want that to be, we have to get rid of those icky thoughts in our heads that tell us that you're a cow. I don't think to myself, I am a coward, or I think, I'll think to myself sometimes, oh, you can't do that,
Right.
And that's when I have to, that I catch it.
And
I say to myself, no, you're courageous.
Yes.
You are courageous. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you have to do that. So I applaud you for doing that, because that's extraordinary.
It saved me. I mean, I'm not a medication person. I just don't like being medicated. And I was seeing a therapist, and she wasn't very positive. I went through 4 therapists before I found one that was good.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah, but I did find one that was actually kind of got me. I was already starting my spiritual journey. It was right at the beginning of it. She was kind of part of it,
Yeah.
Because she was a very spiritual therapist. I just happened to find her.
Yeah, that is so great. Yeah. So I have a friend who was died, and this is 25 years ago, maybe. She was diagnosed with a very, very, very rare cancer. She had like a 1% chance of survival. Okay. And this is how I first actually learned about affirmations and this sort of thing. And I have to tell you, this girl, the doctors told her, you probably have maybe 2 months to live. So you should go home and get your affairs in order. Okay. And I'll admit that I can exaggerate stories sometimes, but I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this, because this is how extraordinary this girl is. Right.
Yeah.
So she went home and she was like, I'm not accepting this. Right. So medication wise, she found natural stuff and she was doing that. Okay. But for her mind, you know what she did? She went home, she put sticky notes all over everything, and she made herself up with, like stage makeup to look old. Okay. And she took pictures. Her sister took pictures of her, and they hung pictures all around of her looking old, so that she would know she was going to live till she was old, Beautiful. She these are the types of things that we need to do when we want to manifest. Now, that is an extraordinary example of this, right? But she's still alive today. 25 years later. It's at least 25 years, I'm sure, and it's amazing.
The doctors don't know everything. They told me that my last child when I was 7 weeks, he had detached from the uterus, and they said to go home and wait for him. It was going to be what they call a spontaneous abortion, that I was going to miscarry.
Oh,
And they
wow.
said, just go home and wait for it at 7 weeks.
Oh,
And just go about your day like normal. So I laid my hands on my stomach and I talked to him.
yeah.
And he came a month early, and he was a big baby in NICU for a week, but he was fine. And he's a
That's
gigantic baby boy now. He's 15.
yeah. Well, and that's the
They were
thing.
wrong. They were wrong.
You just changed your mindset, you talk to the child,
I
that's so
talked to him. I
amazing.
put my hands on that area,
The
I just
power of our minds.
Yes, Sarah, I put it in our screen here. Sarah said, that's amazing, though. Proof of mind over matter for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
that's science. It's been proven in science. They know it.
Mhm.
Science knows this. Why don't they, push it more, doctors? They aren't teaching doctors this, but science, it's proven in science.
Yeah.
There's something that happens to the brain. They have scientific proof from meditating, from changing our thoughts, from thinking positively. They've shown how it affects the brain in a positive way.
Yeah.
And I love it that we have friends or friendships where if you're having a bad day and you have those doubts, that your friend is going to come up and say, you got this, you are courageous. Like they will, send you that energy of affirming, of affirmation. So
Yeah.
really, don't take it for granted when our friends come up and try to cheer us up, because it's like they're showering us with affirmations that we just forgot about.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, honestly, that's why whenever I, talk about the tools of manifestation, that's probably my number one thing, because they're all so personalized, right? All these tools, right? They're all so personalized, but you know what? This one clearly has the ability to change everything, right? Which also is the second tool in my tool chest. We talk about a practice of gratitude. That also has the ability to change everything. And that's, a lot of people have a hard time doing that, a practice of gratitude, because they either don't believe it, or they don't, like their mindset, their mind is like, I don't know, their mind is like, oh, of course it would rain today. Whereas let's look at, switch that around and let's find, what are you grateful for that it rained today? The
Yeah.
plants and the flowers,
Mhm.
they're fed.
When people go, oh, I have to go to the store, I have to go shopping, I have to take a shower. It's like, no, you get to go shopping.
Right.
Let's take
You
a
get to
shower.
take
Yeah.
a shower. You get to walk your dog, you get to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's just such a beautiful
Yeah.
process, and again, it's like, once you get into that sort of mindset of the affirmations and the gratitude, this is when things start changing in your mind. This is when you start to really change those thoughts, and you start to be able to catch the negative thoughts. Because I got to be honest, the other day, I was like, my husband was like, oh yeah, it's going to rain on Wednesday. I'm like, oh man, I have to drive to Westlake Village tomorrow on that day, and I was like, so my first thought was, oh man, but then I was like, hey, wait a minute. I get to go. I get to experience. And if it rains on me, so be it. If it rains on my head, oh well,
Yep.
So,
it's just shifting your thoughts,
a lot of people don't practice gratitude, not because I think they just forget about it. They kind of just get in that one track mind, or they get in that lane where, they just forget. They forget. So it's good that you're reminding us, Lauri, to really practice gratitude. And as we know that, our health is our wealth, right? And to be grateful for our health is a great place to start. If you're not sure what to be grateful for, right? That would be a good place to start.
Yeah.
Or the roof that we live under, the clean water we get to drink, the air that we get to breathe, or, the fact that, we have friends and we have each other, but we can really narrow it down to the little things. But I think it's the little things that can mean so much, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why a practice of gratitude, like first thing in the morning, one of the stories that I heard Wayne Dyer say one time, that he would wake up in the morning, open his eyes, and just simply say, thank you. And I just like find that to be so amazing because that's not my first thought when I wake up in the morning.
Not
I
mine
mean,
either.
I mean, I'm a pretty happy person,
Me
I
too.
mean, I'm like really like, but I need 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. I just need 2 minutes to get it together and then I'll be grateful, right? But if you just start out right first thing in the morning and think about just a few things that you're grateful for, like what can you be grateful for?
Yes.
I mean, like, and I mean that sincerely. So like right now, Kelly, I'm sorry, I'm putting you totally on the spot. I'm putting you guys, just give me one thing that you're grateful for right now, Kelly.
I'm grateful for my home and my neighborhood. I have great neighbors and we have so much fun. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then Cheryl, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful that I had a good night's sleep last night, and I don't have a problem going to sleep, but sometimes, when you have a couple of good nights in a row, it's like,
Yeah.
woo, I have all this energy. I just been going all day long. I'm so excited. It makes me excited, and that makes me grateful.
That's so great. That's so great. I love that,
Yeah. What about you?
You know what? I am so grateful that I'm on this show today. And I know that seems like, oh, well, that's an easy one, kind of thing. But honestly, any opportunity to talk about any aspect of spirituality, I love it, right?
Right.
But manifestation and maybe one person listening to this will start a practice of gratitude because of what we're talking about. And maybe it will change their life. And that's honestly one of the things and I've known that for years. I've thought in terms of that for a long time, but David G actually said that. He's like, if you teach one person one aspect of meditation, it changes their life, you've done everything. Like you've changed a life. Like how amazing is that, So that's where I look at it in terms of
I do think that it changes people's life if they're open to it. I mean, I know it changed I've always been open to it. I've always been a manifester and affirmations, like just intuitively since a child. And so my eldest son, the one who passed away, he went off and on in depression and he got severely depressed about the same time I did. And for the same reason, he got in trouble with the law. And that was my depression. I couldn't handle it. So every day, because he was in juvenile hall for 13 months, juvenile hall rehab, I wrote him a letter. So he got one every day with 10 affirmations in it for him. And little printouts of them so he could put them around his room. And I sent him a nice card and everything and wrote him a little note telling him how much I loved him. And he said to me at the end that he was suicidal and that like changed his thoughts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I think, I'm going to get teary-eyed here, but it like, he said that, Mom, it made me think differently. And I appreciate that. Thank you. He's like, I couldn't have gotten through had I not got those letters every day.
Wow. That is incredible.
Because sometimes when we read the affirmations or the positive thoughts you were sending your son, there's the energy in what you wrote, but then there's the energy in how he felt, when he read the energy that you had written, like it's layered, right? It made him feel better just to know you were thinking of him and sending him just one word, probably lifted his spirits, knowing they came from you. But I'm sure he feels very sensitive, right? He was very sensitive.
Well, he wrote a lot of affirmations in his journals.
Did.
So he started really getting into affirmations after that.
Oh, isn't that neat?
And you did that.
I didn't realize that until after he passed and I got all of his journals.
Yeah.
And he put a lot of them into his music because he wrote lyrics. So
that is so amazing. Oh my gosh.
It kind of touched me a lot, when I saw that. So it's like I knew it like meant something to him,
Yeah.
It changed.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And look at it in terms of that. You touched his life. Now, granted, it was your son, and then that's like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Right.
But you touched someone's life.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like so extraordinary. And that story just completely like, whoa. I mean, my heart is just like, wow, I mean,
they are amazing. People need, like, I feel like we need to teach our children this. We need to teach, society we don't have a grateful society anymore. There are people, I'm not saying everybody, but like, it's not the norm.
Yeah.
The gratitude, the positivity. And then now we have this toxic positivity, like they're trying to like crush us. And it's like, no. I mean, I get what they're saying, but people are taking that toxic positivity towards all positivity. And that's not true.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I get really kind of irritated at that whole notion of toxic positivity. It's like,
me too, because I am naturally positive.
I know. And it's like, I don't know, for me, some people, and you know what? Anybody can differ with their opinion on it. It's totally fine. I love everybody equally. But for me, you know what? If you're too positive and people think that you're not seeing like reality, well, then you know what? I don't want reality. I mean, if I don't know, that's just me. I prefer to be positive and
me too.
Happy thinking, all of that. And you know what? If somebody doesn't like that, then they don't have to hang around me.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's toxic. Like that word, toxic positivity.
Yeah,
I have a whole
it irks me too. I mean, I think what they're trying to say is that you have to allow people to have their feelings, and if you're too positive and you're not allowing them, I get it, but that's not what this is about, though. Right. And people are taking it towards all positivity.
Yeah,
and that's not right.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like they need to go about that a different way.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I mean, if you want to make that point, there's got to be another way to make that point.
Together, they don't belong together, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
What do they call that when they're opposites? They're complete opposites. The words
polar opposite. Is that?
Yeah, there's like a term for it. I can't think of the word now. My son can tell me. But yeah, there's a term for that. There's like a word that talks about like, it's like Back to the Future. They're like opposite. You can't go back to the. You know what I mean? It's like the opposite. So toxic positivity is kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the word. I'm terrible with my vocabulary. My son knows.
Words carry so much vibration to them. And it's nice when we talk with high vibrational words, and we like luminary or gratitude. These are high vibrational words, and they make you feel good just because we're stepping into that energy of the word. And something like toxic positivity, it just doesn't even feel right, or it doesn't set right, because we do understand that, we want to live that high vibrational life of, manifesting our heart's desires and meditation and, really building that life of passion and pursuing, and being authentic. And so I love your practices about gratitude and affirmations, Lauri. I mean, this is just really hitting home for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's the word. That's not the word I was thinking of, but that is one of the words.
Yeah.
There's a paradox. A paradox. That's the word I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but oxymoron, same thing, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Anna.
Anna to the rescue.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's great. That's awesome. So there's another tool, I guess I should say, of manifestation that I really wanted to touch on. And the reason why I'm like being kind of pushy about it is because I think this is one of the funnest things. What did you say?
You're not pushy.
Oh no. I love the idea of oh my God, Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Wait, and surrounding yourself with other positive people. That's why I surround myself with Lauri as much as I can. Oh. You're so sweet. Thank you, Cheryl.
I thought that was great.
She's awesome. She's awesome. The one aspect, my favorite aspect, even more, and ironically, I wrote a book on manifestation and journaling, but that's not my favorite aspect of the tools, right? My favorite aspect is visualization and scripting. Okay. Now, the thing I love about visualization is, well, and you can journal your visualization whenever you decide you want to manifest something, right? You can journal that, right? But what I love about this is it gets into, it's kind of, it takes affirmations and it takes gratitude and it takes all of those sort of emotions and it puts it like right square in your body. If this makes any sense, right? So let's just say that you want to go on you want to manifest a cruise, going on a cruise. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about a free cruise. Okay. That's a different subject that we can get into at a later point. But you want to manifest going on a cruise, right? So what you do is you start to visualize what it's going to be like. And then you start to script. Now, scripting is this, all right? So you take your 5 senses, okay, and you start creating a whole story around this cruise, right? This is why I'm saying it's so much fun. So the first sense is seeing, right? So basically, let's just say you're on your computer and you see this Bora Bora. I'm making this up because I don't even know if you can cruise to Bora Bora, but yes, you see a picture of Bora Bora and you're thinking, oh, I think I want to go on a cruise. That looks beautiful, right? So you're seeing that, okay? Then you start to maybe think about all the different things that you might want to do on the cruise, right? And then you call your travel agent. Okay. Is this possibility? Can I do this? Is it going to fit in my budget? Blah, 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 whatever. Okay. And you start feeling those feelings, and all of a sudden you have these tickets. Now, this isn't real yet. This is just in your mind, right? All of a sudden you have the tickets. And then the day comes when you are leaving for the cruise, right? So you're leaving for the cruise and you get to the boat and you're like, look up and you're like, whoa, and your heart is racing, right? And you're feeling so excited. You're hearing the boat sounds, like maybe the horn on the boat, and then you're smelling the smells of the sea air, right? And then you start to like taste that Mai Tai or whatever it is you're going to be drinking, right? So you start to think about all the things that you're going to do on this boat. You may go on an excursion. When you get to a thing, you're going to go out into the rainforest and you're going to take like this hike into the rainforest, right? Doesn't it, like the way I'm describing that, doesn't it make you really want to take a cruise right now? It does me.
That's where I want to go.
I know. Let's go. And so then you start to create your script, right? And you visualize it, you see it, you be it, you taste it, you smell it, all of that. And then you write it down in your journal. And this is where, like, journaling, as much as I'm saying it's not my favorite part, the visualization and scripting part is my favorite part, but then you write it down in your journal. And then on those days when things are not going so great and you're just like, I can't find one thing to be grateful for. Kill me now, right? I'm not grateful. I can't find an affirmation that's fitting for me today, whatever. You go back and you read your journal and you read all of those things, whether it's a cruise, whether it's a new car, whether it's manifesting a new job, whether it's whatever it is. You go and you read that back to yourself and you can truly feel. I've done this. I know you can feel that rising. You can feel your vibration rising back up. So whereas you start in this place of unsurety and anxiety and all that stuff, you start this day out where you're not having a good day and you're anxiety and you're stressed or whatever, you start to feel it rise up. Because you know that yesterday or 3 days ago or whatever it is, you were thinking about the possibility of manifesting this cruise, So I don't know. I love that example because there's on a cruise, first of all, there's many different, there's all the senses, like you see things, you taste them, you smell, all of that. So I love the idea of scripting and
I like that.
visualization, right? Have you guys ever done that?
I like it to when you're manifesting it, and then I like it when you come back to it when you don't know what else to be grateful for. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember how much I want to go on that cruise, and then you start reading it and getting all those senses kind of fired up again.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done scripting before like that.
I've
Yeah.
done something similar as a child. Every New Year's Eve, I had to
Oh.
get the horoscope for the year. For the whole 12 months, I would read my horoscope. I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. And then I would sit up all night just envisioning my entire year planned out,
Oh
all
my
the
God.
things I was going to accomplish. I mean, I'm here, this little child,
Yeah.
in my family, in school, with my friends, and things I was going to create that year. And then I would think back of the year that just ended and all the things that I had wanted to do that year. And I visualized them all. I even envisioned conversations with people because I was kind of shy at first, and we moved all the time. So I was always having to make new friends. So it
Oh,
was always about overcoming that original shyness, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that. I mean, I still
Um,
do that. I'm always
and
manifesting things by visualizing it and imagining myself in that situation. I
and
don't
it's
always
important.
journal it though.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. And that's why I talk about if you like getting back in. I mean, there's always new things you can learn. There's new things you can do. And I have to tell you, it's hard for me. And yes, I wrote a book. I wrote a journal on manifesting, but it's hard for me to journal sometimes, you
Mhm.
know? But what I like to do is say that the idea of going back, you
Mhm.
know, on those difficult days, because we all have those difficult days, you know? And ironically, if you think about it, um, this is why instant manifestation isn't really a thing, right? And this is why if you click on that thing on Instagram, you're not going to get $2 million in your bank account in 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Because you can't, because our vibration goes up and down all the time. As much as I seem like I am the happy medium, and I call myself a happy medium. My husband actually called me the happy medium,
That's
or a
cute. I
happy
love it.
medium, right? Because I'm happy a lot. But you know what? I'm down sometimes. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up. We're all like that. But if we stay up in this place, it's not even possible. And that's where I'm saying that's the 0.0000001% of the people that can stay up here all the time. And those are the people that can instantly manifest stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out because it felt like it was I
No,
don't
I
know.
love that. I love all
Spirit
these.
told me to say that actually.
Yeah, I love this. Thank you.
It's a great activity. You know, it's a great activity and it's a great way to manifest. I mean, is to bring it to life, you know.
Yeah.
And I love, and you're using your imagination, you know. I
Yeah.
always love using the imagination and your
Yeah.
senses, all 5 senses. That's really great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like the most to me, that's the most fun tool to do. I mean, you know, I do all these other things, and of course I meditate. That's a good thing. And I've created vision boards and all of that stuff. I mean, those are fun things to do. If anybody is not familiar with vision boards, it's extraordinarily fun, or it can be, right? You just go and you cut out pictures of like stuff that
Yeah.
like lights you up. How much fun is that? It's like a project. And you know what the cool thing is? You can do that with kids, you know?
That's
What is it that you want? And you can cut out words, you can cut out, you know, all these things. And that's what the fun part is, you know? So that's why I try to keep manifestation fun.
Well, you do a great job at it. So
Thanks. So yeah, so those are some of the tools that I have. I have many more, but you know, I could just keep going. Again, I could just talk for days about manifestation. So
we
yeah, there you go.
we ask you, Lauri, because you are our guest today, and we love having you here. And I just want to ask you because you do these, and we want to ask you more ways to manifest. But can we take a side step here because you do great readings and you do really good card readings? And I have someone that wrote in an email question. So can I ask you to do a card reading for Caitlin? You
Absolutely.
wrote in a question, and guys, we are taking your questions in the comments section, or you can write it to our email, questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. But Caitlin is asking for guidance, really. Her family's been through a lot recently. She's having a hard time determining her path from here. And her name is Caitlin with the C.
Okay. Okay. So I have these are the Sacred Forest cards by Denise Lynn.
Ooh.
I love this lady. This lady everything she does is so high vibrational and just out of a space of love, right? So these cards are just magical. Magic. I call them my fairy deck because they're just magical and she has fairies on them. So, okay. So Caitlin, this is oh, wow. This is so freaking cool. Okay. Okay. So Caitlin, I know you're going through a difficult time and it's hard. And boy, do I understand that. Okay. However, this is the card I got for you, and Spirit knows what Spirit is doing. I got the Starry Night card, Acceptance.
Oh.
Right? Crazy. So, you know, I'm not an AA person, but I have a lot of friends who are, and I love the prayer. And Spirit just reminded me of this right now. The prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things. I'm going to get it wrong. Shoot. Wait, accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and oh man, I'm going to cry, the wisdom to know the difference.
My husband says that all the time to me.
It's beautiful, right? And so, Caitlin, what I really want to say, I want you to look at her. She's standing here and she is looking forward. She is looking to see what it is that she needs to either accept, change, or just let go. I feel like that I'm supposed to also tell you that there are some things that are happening. I feel a lot of stuff in your heart chakra right now. Okay. And I feel like, you have a lot of stuff going on. You were saying that, there's a lot of stuff, but I feel like it's mostly centered around your heart and how hard that is for your heart. So what my message is to you is to, start to try to let go of some of these things that you have no control over, that you have no control over. Okay. Allow that to just like melt away. Okay. And then I want to suggest maybe a heart chakra meditation. Okay. To release that stress and just invite in pure love into your being. Okay. So that's what I have to say. Go ahead if you guys are getting something.
Oh, that was beautiful. Cheryl?
I just wanted to add to that, Caitlin, I feel like we're sending you love and light. And I definitely feel that energy Lauri was talking about. And I want to say, sometimes when you don't feel there's any movement in your life, there's still movement happening. You're just maybe not supposed to be doing anything at that moment. So take that time, as Lauri mentioned, about meditating or creating some affirmations, a vision board, creating gratitude. These things might help you feel better, and it really will start turning the energy in your favor and kind of move the energy in a softer direction for you.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So here's one from Sue. If you want to do a card reading for her.
Sure. Okay, let's see. Just a general card reading. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. You know how when one flies out? I was doing a live on Inside Timer this morning, and 2 cards literally flew out from the deck. So I gave this girl 2 cards.
So it's meant to be. That's why.
I know, exactly. Isn't that great? I love that. Okay, so Sue, this is for you. Ooh, I love this card. This is the Butterfly Spirit card, and it's transformation. And I hope you guys can see how amazingly beautiful that card is. Okay. Nice. So Sue, what I'm getting about this for you is that I feel like that you are in the middle of a transformation, but let's go forward and say maybe like awakening as well. I feel like that you're beginning to notice these things kind of happening to you, and you're not quite sure where it's coming from. And it feels like that, it really kind of feels like that and she is like a butterfly. Let's just look at that again. She is like a butterfly, and that's kind of what I'm feeling there, in terms of things are shifting with you. I feel things shifting and moving, and it's almost kind of like you're getting rid of that which does not serve you, and you're starting to allow in the great things that are good for you in your life. Okay. And I want to say this to you: allow. Okay. Allow the beauty in. Okay. So that's what I want to say.
That was beautiful.
I could just keep going and going. Sorry. Oh,
yeah, we could too. I know, right?
Just to add to that, Sue, when Lauri pulled the transformation card for you, I got chills. Like, I felt, as Lauri mentioned, transformation, and as she said, awakening, right? And it's almost like take your foot off the brakes, and just go with that flow. Maybe set the intention to follow that gut instinct more, right? That we were talking about earlier. So when you wake up tomorrow, say that prayer of gratitude, set that intention to really lead with your heart, because you are definitely, I feel it too. You're at a pivotal point in your life, about maybe releasing and following your heart. So I hope that helps you, Sue.
beautiful.
Great, guys. There's a few people that want one. I mean, I'll let you guys choose. I'm not doing any today only because I've been under the weather and I don't have much of a voice, and I'm conserving my energy, guys.
Well, let's just thanks, Kelley, and we hope you feel better. I mean, yeah. Definitely,
Yeah.
take care. I want to tell people we are with Lauri Albert. She's a spiritual luminary. She has a website, laurialbert.com. That's Lauri, laurialbert.com. Please sign up for her newsletter. She has a wonderful book out called Manifestation Journal for Beginners. She teaches courses. One thing we haven't mentioned yet, Lauri, is that you're on Insight Timer. So can we just plug it for a moment?
Oh gosh, you're just so nice. I appreciate you guys so much. So I do lives on Insight Timer. I was doing them daily during COVID, but now things are shifting, and Spirit has all these new things coming into my head. I was on vacation last week. Maybe you might be able to see I'm a little tan, right? I was on vacation last week, and I'm sitting by the pool, and Spirit is like, write this down. So I'm like grabbing my book and I'm writing all this stuff down. So like I have all of these plans. I'm in the midst of redoing my website, and I have an upcoming, this could be very interesting for Sue.
Okay.
Interesting, and so funny that Spirit reminded me of this. I haven't put it on Eventbrite yet, but I am doing another one of because I just began a workshop series. The first one was on manifestation. They're easy price. They're $25. Okay. And so this next one that I'm doing is called Are You Intuitive? Let's Find Out.
I love the title.
Spirit just like, you should have seen me. Here I am in Mexico trying to just relax. And Spirit's like, hey, write this down. You need to, But anyway, it's going to be Sunday, December 4th. And I'm going to be putting out, this week, I'm going to trying to get all the details, fixed, figured out and stuff. So it would be really good if you're interested in that, or all of my lives, because I'm live a lot. I do a lot of lives. I do mediumship. I do like a mediumship dem every Thursday night on Insight Timer at 5:00 California time. So I do that. So yeah. So, sign up for my newsletter. That's the best way to.
Yeah, the newsletter is the best way, everybody. laurialbert.com. That's Lauri Albert.com. And Lauri, that December 4th workshop, that's going to be online, right? So
Yes, it's going to be a Zoom thing.
A Zoom thing. People can do it from the comfort of their own home. It sounds exciting. I want to tell you, because you make it fun. Every time we have you on the show, it's fun. You're fun, and the way you teach, I know you really are compassionate and really passionate about what you do. So thank you for being a spiritual luminary for us today, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate you both so much.
You.
And I'm sending healing energy to both of you, but to Kelley because she's not feeling so good.
Can you share with us before we go, because we still have some time and we're really wanting to manifest, Kelley and Lauri. So can you give us another tip? Do you mind about manifesting?
Oh, of manifesting? Oh, of course.
Right now we have affirmations, we have practice of gratitude, we have visualization and scripting. Maybe a board if we've done one before. And then
one of the best. Okay, so we talked about the affirmations and the gratitude and the visualization and journaling and all that stuff, that kind of stuff. But honestly, you put it all together. I don't want to say the most important thing, but the tool in my head that brings all of that together is meditation. Okay. And of course I say that, because I'm a meditation teacher and it's changed my life, but what it does is it allows you, like, let's just say, okay, that you create this, because when you decide you're going to manifest something, you start to like figure out what's going on in your life and all that kind of stuff. So basically you want to create like a sort of a routine for yourself, right? So let's just say you wake up first thing in the morning and you say, thank you, like Wayne Dyer, right? You say, thank you before your feet touch the floor. And then you walk into the bathroom, because that's pretty much what everybody does, right? You walk into the bathroom, maybe you put a sticky note on there that says, today is going to be a great day. Okay. And then you get ready, whatever, for your day and do all that kind of stuff. And you might, and I know I say this a lot, but our phones, we have to use these for good, use the powers for good, right? You could put reminders on your phone. I have a reminder on my phone that says, what are you grateful for, Lauri? Right? So every couple of days it comes up, so you do that. But you get ready for your day. You maybe go have your coffee first or not, whatever it is. Then you sit by yourself in the stillness and the silence. Doesn't have to be silence necessarily, but the stillness. Find a little place. I have a friend who has like a nice closet and she sits in her closet and meditates, right? Because that's what she does. You only have to do it when you're starting, I meditate for a lot of times, half an hour, 45 minutes. And on a good day, a couple hours, that's like when I have nothing else to do, of course. But you only have to do 10 minutes. Okay. And when you have a thought, you just sort of in your mind, just kind of go wish it away. It doesn't have to be a big dramatic thing like, oh man, I'm thinking thoughts, darn it. It doesn't have to be like that. You just kind of wish it away. Okay, here I go. And you take a breath and you just relax your body. And that's all it has to be. And like I said, it sort of brings together all of it. It sort of brings together all of the other tools. And it's like it solidifies it. So if we did that, that's what that would be like, sort of the icing on the cake tool. So yeah, so that's that.
Lauri, I want to tell you, you've given us such a wealth of tools to manifest. We are going to manifest and have you back on the show. Okay.
I just love you guys. Thank you so much.
So I know we can continue talking to you, and I know that your card readings were amazing. We want to thank you for taking the time and doing readings for these lovely people that were asking questions. I know it helped them, it helped support them. I just want to tell everyone you can get Lauri's book, Manifestation Journal for Beginners, on Amazon.com. So it's available on Amazon. Please pick up a copy. There's a workbook in there. Lauri's put affirmations in there. So still lots more good tips are in there. And we haven't really even covered them all today. But we want to thank you, Lauri, our spiritual luminary. And once again, her website, everyone, is laurialbert.com. So we are going to wrap up for today. Lauri, it's been such a joy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelley,
You might want to
say anything, please?
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. And thank you, Lauri. We love having you on. And I'm sure we'll have you on again because you have great energy and we love that. Like you said, like attracts like. So we're going to attract you.
Yeah. Love you guys so much. And if I could just mention one thing, Insight Timer is an app. It's a meditation app. It's the largest in the world. There are millions and millions and millions of people on there, and it's extraordinary. There's every type of meditation on there. So that's what Heidi 2 Universe mentioned that. So I wanted to.
Thank you. That's why I put it up there. So you can say something. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you guys. You both are so generous every time I'm on. And I just really appreciate you both so much. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a nice night.
Have a great night, everyone. Namaste.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.